everyone, I'm Emily, back with Great Garden Plants, and today we're going to be making some fun holiday ornaments with foraged foliage from the garden. So we have our beautiful stars. These are great for window hangings or wall hangings. And we also are going to be working on these really pretty door hangings, and you can also hang them on your cabinets. They're really cute, just like to spruce up the house around the holidays. So for materials today, we're going to start with our Arctic Fire Yellow Red-Twig Dogwood, and we also have our Arctic Fire Red Red-Twig Dogwood, as well as our Berry Heavy Winterberry Holly and our Berry Heavy Gold Winterberry Holly. And we have our Fizz Juniper, Montana Moss Juniper, and some green giant Arborvitae. And as well as the materials, we also have utensils that we're going to be using today, or tools if you will. And we have our pruners, handy dandy pruners for trimming things down. We have scissors for trimming the yarn and string we're going to be using, and a bunch of different kinds of winter ribbon, snowflakes, little stripes, super cute. And then this is the base string we're going to be using to kind of tie everything together. I feel like green is a great holiday color, so we're just going to stick to this today. Alright, so the first craft we're going to be starting with today is this Red-Twig Dogwood star. And we also added some Winterberry Holly in the corner, which is going to look super cute layered with other decor pieces that you have in your house, maybe on a mantle or something, and also standing alone on a wall or in your dining room. First, we're going to just grab 5 pieces of our Red-Twig Dogwood. And then I'm going to kind of make sure they're similar in size, but they don't have to be the exact size because we're going to trim them down to the same size. So that's what I'm going to do right now with my handy dandy pruners. So we're just going to take these and kind of just trim them so they're all the same. We have a nice even start point. So now that you have those all kind of the same length, what we're just basically going to do is make a star. Just a simple 5-point star like you would draw on a piece of paper. Alright, so once we have that kind of laid the way we like it, we're just going to make a mental note for now of where we need to tie each cross section. So every time they intersect is where we're going to tie it. As you can see on this one, we've tied each and every cross section so it's nice and stable and it's not going to fall apart on you. So now I like to do this in sections just because it's easier to do one section and then put it together with another section at the end. So I'm just basically going to start with my bottom 2 twigs, and I'm going to get a piece of string. I'm going to be generous with myself because we can always just cut it off at the end. So I would say about like 2 feet of string. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take this first cross section and just tie it together so it's nice and sturdy. It's okay if it's not staying the way you want it because we can adjust it as we go, which is one reason why I really love this craft, because it's super forgiving. So now that we have our little knot, we're just going to go ahead and wrap it around a generous amount so that she's sturdy and not going anywhere. And then once I get the string back to the back side, we're going to tie it off together. Great, so now that we have these very sturdy tied together, we're going to flip it over to the back side where we did the knot and take our scissors and just snip it as close as we can get to the knot. Now that we have our first base, we're going to take our other pieces and kind of remind ourselves where we are going with this and where we need to tie next. Okay, so that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these together. Alright, so now we have our little star shape, and as you can see, it's really flimsy, not very sturdy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and individually tie each crossover. Same thing we did with all of the other knots we just did. We're going to keep the knots on the same side. So there's going to be a front side and a back side sort of thing. So this is where I'll go in and adjust like how I want the shape. So if I wanted it more like asymmetrical, I would tie this here so that it kind of stayed slanted. But for this, I'm going to go for a more symmetrical look. So we're going to just line this up the way I want it and then pinpoint where I need to tie that knot. All right, here we are. Now that all of these little knots are done and secure, this is not going anywhere. So now is the fun part. We get to decorate it the way we like it, personalize it, all the fun things. Me personally, I really like glitter, and we have some sparkly ribbons, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. With this one, I added the Winterberry holly. I'm also gonna do that again on this one, and I'm gonna put the bow in kind of the same place probably. So we're gonna do the Winterberry holly first. I think I'm gonna just stick to the red since we're doing the Red-Twig Dogwood. I think it'll go really good together. So I kind of like how that would look. I like how there's some branches going off into the inside of the star. So we're gonna take these, grab some more string, and what we're gonna be doing is just wrapping these together or tying these together before we start wrapping it onto the star. And now we have this clean, neat little bundle that's gonna fit perfectly right onto the corner of our star, just like that. What we're gonna be wrapping is only the section below the berries, and the rest will just stay upright itself. All right, I'm gonna do a double knot just to be safe. When in doubt, double knot. And once you got it good and tight, we're just gonna give it a trim again. And then boom! We have our base all set. Now for the finishing touch, which is the bow on top, of course. If you don't know how to tie a bow, I'll try to do it slow so you can kind of see. First, you start by getting even ends. So we're gonna center the star in the middle of the ribbon. Doesn't have to be perfect, but perfect enough. And then we're gonna go ahead and just do a simple knot like we've been doing this whole tutorial. Now we're just gonna give it a good pull. Now I'm gonna start with the bow. I'm just gonna make a loop and then go over it and pull the second loop through. I'm just gonna wrap the wired ribbon around so that it gets this little curl that we have in the other one. All right, and then this should be our final product. I love it. I think it looks so good. You could obviously trim these how long or short you want them. I kind of like the longer look because I like how it drapes down with the shape. So I think we're gonna keep it like that, and that's our finished product. Now we're gonna be moving on to these little door hangings, which are super cute. We're gonna take a piece of our very heavy golden Winterberry holly. Now I'm gonna also take, this smells amazing by the way, but you do need to be careful with these little thorns that are on here. This is Fizz Juniper, and it does get a little thorny. It gets a little pokey. And then I'm gonna get a nice flat piece of this Arborvitae here. The green giant Arborvitae, which has these little cones on it, and I really want to try to include that layer as well, so maybe I'll use this piece. I'm just going to trim down the berries a little bit and going to layer them on top how I think I'm going to like them. So I'm just going to do one piece of the Fizz Juniper and then layer everything else kind of on top, kind of like this. Now I'm going to make sure I have a little stem, maybe like an inch to an inch and a half of a stem, so that we can have something to wrap the string around at the end. Once I have my initial evergreen cluster of all the foliage, I'm just gonna do a nice tight knot, just because this is gonna be the loosest, most difficult part to like flat lay. And then once we've done that and they're good and secure, then we'll lay the berries on top of them. And now I'm gonna start wrapping with the string. So once you have it wrapped kind of like this, we're just gonna take it and do a knot. This is what we have so far. Looks so cute, right? Okay, so now that we have our initial bundle, I'm gonna take this string and kind of just tie it to itself so that it's a loop instead of just a straight string. So it's gonna go from this to like this. All right, and this should be the final product. We have our loop. It's super secure, it's not going anywhere, and this would look so cute hanging on your cabinets in your kitchen or on your front door when people walk in, so that they can be greeted with this light smell of evergreen. It smells so good, I cannot get enough of it. So that is it for our holiday craft decorations, and we really hope you enjoyed. All of the plants we used will be in the description below, and I really urge you guys to follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube just so you can stay up to date with all of the fun things we got coming.